Oh, why won't it stop? It's the worst ever.
So, I may have been a bit dramatic, but my experiences shooting this iconic 70-year-old willow tree did involve some drama. Photographing a popular honeypot location can be challenging. There's often no room to move, and taking a photo that's different to the 1,000 others out there can be difficult. As if that wasn't enough, it seemed like that Wanaka tree just didn't want me to capture it. Now, maybe I'm being a bit superstitious, but stick around and I'll tell you some more. Wanaka, a small, gorgeous and peaceful town about an hour north of Queenstown. I was there for the wedding of the year. Huge congrats Anne and Ryan. What a stunning bride and groom they were on a stunning Wanaka day. It was a great chance for some good old friends to get together and share a special and memorable day. And of course, being in Wanaka, I had to take every opportunity to capture something else that's pretty special there.
I'm about to capture probably the most photographed tree in New Zealand, and I think you all have an idea of what that tree is. You'll see it shortly. And as I'm walking there, I'm thinking about the challenges of photographing a place that's so popular, a honeypot location, if you will. Now, being a honeypot location means that there are often a lot of people there wanting to photograph it, and the challenge is, how do I make the image stand out from the hundreds of thousands of photos before mine, and of course the hundreds of thousands of photos to follow. But I think there are still ways that you can make that photo your own, put your own stamp on it, and you shouldn't be deterred. I'm not fazed that there have been countless photos of this famous tree. I just have to utilize my tools, my skills, and look for ways to make it my own photo, my own unique photo, and try different conditions, overcast, even daylight, make it a mono, and look for unique perspectives. Shoot low, shoot high. So I've arrived here, and you can probably see that Wanaka tree in the background. And as expected, there's a crowd of people here already. It's about an hour from sunrise. Sorry, it's about an hour from sunset, and it is overcast. But hopefully, with this high level clouds, should provide for some amazing colours. So let me scout around, find a potential place to set up my tripod and get in there and get that shot.
I was quickly hit with what turned out to be, hands down, the worst blood nose I've ever had. And trust me, I've had my fair share. Laying there, it occurred to me that again, for the third time, something was getting in the way of me trying to capture that Wanaka tree. That previous morning, I was sure I'd just securely mounted my camera onto my tripod, but it somehow got dislodged from the ball head and fell onto the rocks and pebbles below. My camera survived, but my wide angle was damaged. That was the second time that something got between me and that Wanaka tree. Not to be deterred, I ploughed on with my kit lens and my mid-range. Not having the right size step-up rings with me, I improvised by hand-holding my ND filters. I didn't record a video as I had little faith that my photos would be any good. But to my surprise, these were some of my favourite shots of that Wanaka tree. A tip for hand-holding filters should you ever find yourself needing to. Hold it flush against the lens, try to make yourself steady like a tripod, and don't put pressure against your lens as this can cause vibrations which will likely blur your photos. As I found out, this isn't easy for really long exposures. These astro photos were taken the previous night. A strange encounter with a fella whose appearance and motives had me a little worried for my safety out there on the lake. Very late at night and on my own meant I had to cut my photo shoot short. That was my first little incident at that Wanaka tree after driving past a black cat that night. The flow of blood was heavy. It was like someone had turned the tap on full blast and thrown away the handle. After a good 20 minutes or so, there were no signs it was stopping. Watching the light turn, I couldn't let my only chance to capture the tree at sunset slip away, so I got right into it. A tip for shooting scenes with water: always have a pair of gumboots handy. Unlike all the photographers there, I could explore compositions in the water, which was nice as the crowd limited my options from the foreshore. Now, trying to stem a bleeding nose, holding my ND filters one-handed and dealing with a throng of photographers and tourists made it a little difficult to talk you through my thinking and compositions, so I'll be narrating this video a lot more than usual.
I realise how incredibly stupid I must look right now, but as soon as I reached this beach with the Wanaka tree, I started to get a blood nose, and I've been bleeding profusely for about the past 15 to 20 minutes at least, I think. And I'm just losing this light, and it's so beautiful. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to stick around to wait for it to for my nose to stop, because it's probably not going to stop, and I'm not going to miss out on this brilliant light. So I'll just quickly take you through what I'm looking at. I'm taking long exposure, about 13 seconds at the moment, and then because it's quite windy as well, I'm taking some short exposures of about 1/200th of a second, and then I'm going to blend them both in post because I don't want my tree blurry. Look, I'm just going to try and work a few compositions here, and if they're any decent, I'll put them up on screen, and then hopefully I can work on my blood nose. I've tried everything, laying back on the beach, going forward, pinching, but it's just not clotting. I'm anemic, I think. I have issues with blood clots, but I'll get back into it, and I'll put some images up real soon.
Eventually, there was a bit of space on the foreshore, and I changed up my composition. I hadn't been too fond of this view, as you can't see the peaks of Mount Aspiring in the background. With fading light and choppy water, I needed really slow shutter speeds to smooth out my water, but I couldn't hold my filters steady for more than a minute. Shortening my exposure to free some of the motion in the water, I was also mindful of the lack of separation between the lower branch of the tree and the dark mountains in the background. I was able to achieve this separation better in post by desaturating the mountains. Usually, the lower branch is much more full with leaves. I think this composition works much better in autumn when there's a greater contrast between the golden leaves and the background.
So the sun has set now, and unfortunately we didn't get too much colour in the sky. It's just the clouds were just blocking out a lot of the light. And my blood nose finally managed to stop. Must have been bleeding for at least half an hour, I think. I thought it would never stop. But I did manage to find my way around here into the water and get a few low angle shots. Look, I think I'm done here for the night. I'll come out again tomorrow.
A challenge with shooting a popular location at sunrise is that you don't just need to get there early, you need to get there earlier than others. We need to share the limited space and stay out of each other's shots. So, first in, first serve. I unfortunately was a little late that morning and had to find whatever position was available.
Good morning. I'm back out here at Lake Wanaka, shooting the Wanaka Tree again, making the most of my opportunities to take photos of this unique willow tree and taking opportunities to shoot it in as many different conditions as I can.
Continuing my mission to work the scene as much as I can under different conditions, I again experimented with a combination of different compositions and exposures. There are still so many compositions to be explored here, some of which I wished I had missed, like this one. But that's always a great reason to revisit a place time and time again. I would love to be back here in autumn when the leaves turn colour and hopefully the water level is much higher than what it was for my first visit here.
Well, that's it for this morning. Such a beautiful location, and I've had a wonderful time capturing this Lake Wanaka tree. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the images. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, take it easy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.